Hey everybody!
Hey everyone! It's Maddie
and Maria,
and welcome to Girls Just Wanna
Have
Have
God.
God.
I was gonna say Girls Just Gone Bible, but I'm like, that's not us.
So it's Girls Just Wanna Have God. It's gonna be very similar to Girls Gone Bible because
Hopefully,
I hope so. They do a
the role
great
models.
job. So if you guys haven't seen this podcast before Girls Gone Bible, definitely check them out. Also, they are amazing. So why don't we just introduce ourselves and kind of what made us want to start the podcast. So we are sisters, if you guys
in case you couldn't tell.
It's funny because a lot of people, I feel like, they'd be like, we look like exact twins, and
we used to work at a job together at the gym, and like they didn't even know that there was two of us. They'd be like, somebody would come over to me and be like, oh, like, what did you think about that movie I told you to watch? And I was like, you never told me to watch a movie. And they're like, we literally talked about her for like an hour yesterday, and they'd be talking about her.
Oh, and I would get so offended. I mean, like, I obviously would love to look like you, but I get mad too because it's like we're so different.
We're different.
We're very similar because we're both like pretty upbeat and happy, but we also are a little different in certain ways, so we kind of get a little salty. If it's a guy, if it's girls, we're like, okay, cool. But if it's a guy and he's like being flirty, he's like, you're just. Or
like we've been like on a double date, and they're like, you guys are the same person.
Oh, red flag. Anyways, why don't we kind of just get into what this podcast is about? So, Girls Just Want to Have God. My sister and I, we are on a very similar journey where
some of us are further along than others.
Very true. We kind of grew up very religious, very Catholic, and we sort of strayed away a little bit. But it was interesting because we did stray away, but we still were going to church, like saying our prayers at night. And it was interesting because when we strayed away, like even though we had God so close to us, I feel like we were so like not doing religion right. And now we kind of shift gears for a little while now, and we really have found an immense amount of peace. And this is ultimately like what we want to help everyone out who's listening, because there's just a lot of evil in this world. And it's so easy to go bad and not even realize it, or it's so easy to get just so overwhelmed and so involved in things that are just so bad for you and not sent from God. So this is kind of like a community for people who, you're forced to sort of participate in things of the world, but you still, you don't find peace, and like you don't know how to get peace. So
like just constantly like running away and trying to seek this peace by like trying new things every weekend, but then
meeting new people. And that's what I think.
But you just feel further away than
sure
from when you first ran.
And I don't know about for
now
you.
Now you're in Asia.
For real though, but like I don't know for you, and I want you to tell us about this, but for me I feel like I put so much stock into people and my relationships with people, and that was like the first thing that completely steered me away from God. And like, I think for me, my bad, like the phase where I was like worst was definitely a lot of people.
Bad girl.
And guys, we're not like, we are crazy about God. We love reading the Bible. We're very religious now, but by no means are we like your picture perfect Bible girl. I think you can kind of tell by looking at us, but like we're not super religious. We are religious, but we're not super like over the top and judgmental about things. Like we still are kind of figuring it out. We still
read the Bible and everything, but we also still go out. So we're in this awkward stage where I feel like we're kind of battling the world and figuring out the Bible at the same time.
Yeah, battling the world is, I think, just so spot on. Like we're battling the world, and like
because at the end of the day, like we have jobs that are of the world. Like you do a lot of social media,
you have to survive. Like that is our only means of income. And like with inflation now, it's so hard to like. Yeah, it would be so easy 20 years ago if we could just run away to the wilderness and read our Bible. Because, like, that would honestly be a dream. Like, some people hear that and they think, that sounds terrible. I think of that and I'm like, wow, like, That would be so peaceful.
You know, it is funny you say that because I definitely have had conversations. Like, you love working. She's very career-oriented. She's always been that way. Like, she did 2 years of college instead of 4. Like, she's always been, like, very much, like, in that way. You know, career-oriented, is that the word? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I've just never been that way. I've always just wanted to have fun all the time. And that's definitely what led me down my little path that I'm in right now. But also just, like, I just want to literally just live on a farm, get married, and have some babies. And it's, like, so funny because if you say that to the wrong group of girls, they'll be like, what? You don't want a career? You don't want to... And I'm like, not really.
And... like, do you experience a lot where people make you feel bad? Like, if you don't...
Yeah, no,
like,
for sure.
They'll be like, okay, like, what's your plan, though, in the next, like, 10 years? And then you'll, like, say, God, no, I just want to travel. No, or like, your career.
It's funny you say that because, so I work in the service industry, and people come in almost daily asking me, okay, but, like, what's going to be your real job? Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, I don't crave to have a career. I don't want to work 9 to 5 every day. Like, I literally just want to, like, travel and go to the beach all day long, and, like, I don't crave these
and I hate how, like,
things.
I think that's why so many people are so dead inside and so susceptible to, like, temptation from the devil, because we as humans, we are not meant to function at a 9 to 5. We are not meant to function in jobs that suck the life out of us. And so many of us are denying ourselves. Had this thought this morning. I woke up, read my Bible, and guys, I'm trying to get in the habit of, that's the first thing I do before I even look at my phone, but it's a work in progress. But I woke up, read my Bible for like 45 minutes, and then as I was like leaving to the gym, I'm thinking, okay, I'll be in the gym an hour and a half, then I'll edit for 5 hours, and then do the podcast for 3 hours, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, like, I literally only give God 45 minutes a day, and that's, like, hard for me, yet I do my work, I work out, all of these things that are kind of, like, of this world, I devote so much time to, and I'm not saying you shouldn't work on yourself, you shouldn't do things of the world, but, like, that goes to show you why there's such an uneasiness with so many people, and, like, the fact that it's so shoved down our throats that, you know, you need to be a career woman. Like, you need... And that's a whole other topic that I really...
And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have a career, but there also
woman.
Shouldn't be something wrong with not wanting a career either.
Yes, 100%. And, like, there are ways of making money where you don't have to slave yourself to someone or another system.
For sure. Yeah, because it's like... I mean, I've worked 9 to 5s. I've had salary jobs. I've probably worked by every job you can possibly imagine. Too. And... I am making more money during my customer service job than I did my 9 to 5, and I don't have near as much time given to it, and I can, like, still do other stuff, more time for other things. Yeah. So I think it's, like, really funny when people are like, what do you want to do? It's like, I don't know yet. Stop it.
It's crazy. But I would even say, though, like, kind of going back to your point about the, like, fun was kind of what, like, sucked you in. For me, it was my relationships with people. For this whole, like, podcast, Girls Just Want to Have God, like, when we kind of were thinking about the name, we had always kind of wanted to do a podcast for a while now, just, like, talking about how, like, we are very, I mean, like, a lot of Christians and Catholics and just, you know, people who follow Christ, sometimes they can be judgmental, and this is not at all to, like, put a bad rap on religions, but I think it would be a little bit of a lie to not, you know, talk about how exclusive these groups are. And a common thing Maria and I were running into is when we were in our, like, party phase, even though we dressed in ways that, you know, I'm not proud of at all, it still, like, haunts me to this day when photos pop up, but, you know, and I'm still working on it.
Snapchat, like, 3 years ago today.
and I'm still working on it. Like, I'm sure, you know, I still need a lot of work, but it's a lot different than how I used to be a few years ago. And, like, it's just so, like, it's haunting the way it, like, just sort of follows you. But it was ultimately, like, fun that kind of put us in the predicament that we're currently in, where it's just, like, you know, we were down bad with just, like, never finding peace. Like, what was that like? Because I want, like, from your perspective, you're younger than me. You're a few years younger than me.
Yes.
So, and this is where I feel like a terrible sister because...
No, oh my gosh.
Let me say it though, guys. Accountability is huge. And I think, like, holding yourself accountable is, you can do really bad things, but it's like, if you hold yourself accountable, that's what determines the change. That's what made me entirely change and realize, yeah, even though I go to church, like, I'm not reading my Bible. I don't know anything about why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's why I'm so dead inside. Like, I was completely dead inside. And, you know, for you, what was that like, kind of, as your older sister? I feel like I should have been a better influence.
Well, okay, so that is the thing with my personality, where it's like, if I want to do something, like, nobody's getting in my way. I will do it. Like,
You're an adrenaline junkie.
I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
So if there's something that seems fun to me, or I have this, like, itch, like, I can't, like, I need to do it. So she always blames herself. She's like, oh, like, well, I should have been a better example. I should have done this. But it's like,
I should have.
I would have done it anyways, so.
Yeah, but as your older sister, we'll get into that.
Well, that'll
later.
be whatever.
Accountability, that's, I think, our
Another
next
episode.
But, like, talking about, like, feeling dead inside, like, what was that like for you?
Well,
like, never experiencing peace. We were constantly running to all these places. Like, what can you describe that feeling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, so we grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and we were homeschooled, but you know, being in Fort Lauderdale, it's a very, like, party place, because it's right next to, like, we live 20 minutes from Miami and 20 minutes from Fort Lauderdale, so most of our friends were definitely, like, people that wanted to go out, wanted to party, and, you know, we're like, okay, let's go.
And our church community was very small. Like, it was all old people or, like, babies.
Yeah, we were, like the oldest people, not of the younger youth. We were, like, the oldest, so, and we weren't even that old.
So we, like, had no kids our age, so we were, like, kind of forced to be friends with people who didn't go to church. Because we were, like, we're, like, a very different type of Catholic. We did, like, Latin masses, so we were, like, a very... I don't know if conservative Catholic's the right word, but, like, very old-fashioned, where all of our masses are traditional, yeah. Very traditionally Catholic, where there's Latin masses, there's rosaries, chapel veils, like, all that stuff. So, like, it's a very, like, small group to exist. Yeah. Even today, like, it's kind of rare to, you'll travel places and there won't always be traditional Catholic masses. But, you know, Naples, there's a lot bigger of a community. That's where we live. But in Fort Lauderdale,
yeah, so I'd say we moved here to Naples, like, when I was 18. So, I don't know. I think, honestly, right when we moved to Naples is, like, when things just, like, it was like a jolt. Like, I was like, I need to be doing everything, because we didn't know anybody when we first moved here. So we're like, okay, how are we going to find friends? Like, we're too old to, like, be doing sports and finding people that way, because
we were graduating,
I was
too.
in high school when I lived in Fort Lauderdale and stuff, so, like, I would play sports, or I would do this, but it was at that awkward age where, like, you don't really play sports anymore. Yeah. It's just, like, it was weirder, so we thought, okay, how are we gonna meet people? Bars, clubs, all that stuff, and that's kind of, like, where we met, like, all of the people that we met in that stage of our life, and it just, like, was so strange, because I feel like personally, and I feel like you agree, we were kind of in this awkward stage where we were like, yeah, like, I go to church every day, I say my rosary, I go to confession, but, like, I'm not technically doing anything bad. But yeah, like, I
literally was at a point where I was like, this is going to sound so bad, and I realize that now, but I was like, God should be happy.
No, yeah, seriously.
Like, happy with me. I'm like, oh, yeah, like, I'll go out, I'll party, I'll, like, not pay attention in mass, I'll be, like, so, like, the next day hungover going to church, and, like,
but at least I went to church.
I was like, but at least I didn't like, you know, because we've always been a little bit, like, for us, I think just, like, how we were raised in the Catholic community, something that's been very big and something that we kind of try our best to always stay true to was, like, purity. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I didn't go home with someone, so, like, I'm amazing. God should be so...
Did I get plastered drunk? Yeah, but I didn't go home with somebody.
Did I pick fights with people? Yeah. Did I say really mean things? Yeah, but, oh, I didn't kiss anyone in the bar. I'm, like, a saint. Like, and that's the dangerous part of environments that you're in. Yeah. So already, like, touching on, you grew up in Fort Lauderdale, like, you know, we were always kind of in that environment. Mm-hmm. And you do become your environment.
I also feel like, weirdly, I know this is, like, so stupid, but, like, being not only religious but also homeschooled, you get this stereotype where it's like, oh, you little like goody two shoes. So then you're just like,
no,
I'm not
not.
a goody two
No,
shoes.
I'm not.
Watch me.
That's so
Oh
immature.
my gosh,
You're so
yeah,
right.
it was so.
I didn't even realize that I was doing that too. Like for me, the whole party phase thing did not actually hit me till after college, which is so weird because I did graduate early, but I was in the same boat. We moved to Naples, didn't know anyone, and I grew up like I was pretty lonely. I didn't really have a lot of friends, and the friends that I did have, it would be like very spaced out, and I hate it when girls say this when they're like, I'm not a girl's girl. But growing up, I was not the best with girls. Like,
well, so maybe weren't very
they
nice
were very.
to
I had a
her.
lot of issues like with a lot of friendships, so I was very lonely, or I was very scarred from just like when I was friends with a few girls and like just the typical like stuff that happens to every high school girl. I just was more like I wouldn't put up with it.
In your defense, though, I will say like they were really mean.
Yeah, and I was always very independent, and like I always acted a little bit older than my age. And it's funny because people who, if you would have known me when I was like 17 or 18, you would have been like, wow, like she has it together. Like people, like I really looked like, and I dressed like a 30-year-old woman. Like I was so like, but I was faking. Like I really, now looking back at that time, like even though I was, going to church, saying my rosary, like, and that was like a peaceful time. It was like, it was hard in a different way.
I feel like you were like fine, that you didn't do anything bad then.
No, like I was super
after.
good. Like I would, literally, I was pretty good at that point, but
I feel like it kind of was when, when you went to school.
When I went to school, it was getting worse because I got on the dating app. So, and I kid you not, like, it was the craziest experience because there were some days I'd wake up and I thought I was in hell. Like, I thought I might have died and went to hell, and it was like, there was so much evil. And, like, I'm not saying that, if you party or if you do bad things, that makes you an evil person, but the devil is able to come in environments where bad things happen and mess with people's minds. And I still was, like, in such a tricky place because I was like participating on the dating apps, and I was like, the guys would really like as girls dating in this generation, it's already like really hard, and then if they're not religious on top of it, like they will not, for the most part, like everyone, if you're not religious or you're not very wholesome, like you didn't grow up that way, you're not going to value purity, you're not going to value things that I did value going into it. And it was just like I saw like the dark side of it all, but I still kind of would not participate. I looked like I did though, because I was always going out at parties and all this stuff. So then when I graduated college, I was like, I didn't make any friends.
It's really like watching a board game, but not playing.
Not playing it. So I thought, I watched it this whole time, and I would do little things like here and there, but probably went to like 2 parties my whole time in school. But then it was after I was like,
but you did a lot of the dating. I would go out on a lot of dates, and that's where like in the beginning I kind of said, sorry,
no, you're fine.
I was just gonna say, because I should not.
You remember things. No, you're good.
But I think it's like you were like, oh, I didn't go to all the parties, but then I dated. So it was like this like push and pull.
No,
thing.
and it's what kind of developed a very unhealthy like attachment to like how you idealize a man almost. Like I would like it made you, and I think this is a common thing women we struggle with, is like we want the connection and closeness with people who are just bad for us, because like
it's like a challenge. It's like,
or I can fix him.
Or I want to add to this too, because I feel like a lot of like religious girls go through this where we feel obligated to like fix everybody or like lead them. I'm gonna put parentheses around this, but not actually, like I guess lead them to God. So we're like, we'll take on these people that are very dark and would probably do more harm to us than us do good for them. But we're like, we think it's like, no, it's our duty as Catholic girls.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Yes, because that was literally what I had thought. Sorry, because that was a huge. I'm so glad you said that, because it was like I had this thing where like, I was a really good, like, when I came out of high school, I was really, like, good. I loved to help people because I was very alone. So it made me, like, feel fulfilled, and it's what bonded me to people.
Feel like you were important.
Because that's how I saw my value off of how I could help people. And, like, so it started off that way. Like, I would I was very tricked by men. Like, I would think, like, they would say, wow, you, like, helped me. Wow, this, wow, that. So I
You
wanted...
made me feel so good.
You made me...
I've never felt this way before.
Yeah, well, you're making me feel, like, horrible.
No, I mean, like,
no,
that's
but
just
they
what
made
tell
me...
people.
Yeah, so they're making me second guess everything. And then, like, I'm over there, like, oh, you poor thing. Like,
You've been through so much.
You've been through so much. And I will say this is where, like, you take your giftings that God gives you and you use it. You get a big head about it. I did. Like, I was, like, prided myself on, wow, I can, like, talk to anyone and help them. Like, and it definitely
because you did help them, but it's just a matter of, like...
I got a big head about it, and that's why I, like, accepted very bad people who were bad for me, because I wanted to flex my, like, skills or whatever. And little did I know, like, I was being dragged down such a deep, deep hole. And... yeah, that's kind of how it started for me. And then we moved to Naples, didn't know anyone, partied, and the rest is history.
We were just running so much. It got to the point where at first we were just trying to find friends. And then we got our friends. And then there was always something fun going on. There was always a new party. It was changing us. Like, I would see, I was physically changing. Like, it was so weird. Like, I never broke out in high school ever, and then randomly I started breaking out during this stage of my life. I gained some weight too, which, you know, is whatever, but, like,
you were physically
I was physically, like, and I even got really sick at one point. And it was just, like, the excessive drinking and exhaustion and just being around people that just aren't feeding you anything.
But you're constantly
But, like, I keep going back for more. It was like my skin would crawl if I wouldn't go out. And
get FOMO, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm still like this. Not at all to where I used to be, so I've definitely grown in that sense. But, like, if I would stay home for just, like, one Friday night, like, my skin would crawl. I'd feel so upset. I'd be like, I want to go out. Like, I hate being home. This is so stupid. But it's like, no, what are you running from? Like, why do you feel the need to, like, you can't be in your thoughts. You can't be alone in bed at night. Like, it's so weird.
What do you feel like? Like, I know you talked about, like, yeah, you'll still kind of go out sometimes. It's not near the level it was. It's kind of a more normal, healthy level. Like, what was the switch for you? Like, do you remember?
Well, yeah. So I guess the thing is I never had an issue with boys. It was never a thing where I was like, I needed to talk to boys, or
you were always, and I do want to say
I was never boy crazy.
I tell everyone this about you. Like, she is the most hardcore girls girl. Like, when Maria will get, you know, I know you're gonna get mad at me for saying this, but she will get attention when she goes out by guys, but it's because she doesn't care. It's because, like, girls send out this desperate vibe when they're desperate. They do, and, like, guys who are just wanting to hook up, they see that and they're like, okay, like, you know, you send out a vibe like, no, like, I just want to have fun, and that's very attractive. So, like, for you, like, you will have guys who really want to hang out with you. You leave them for the girls every time. And I know that sounds like, well, okay, but guys, if you really think about it, a lot of girls don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and so. I guess that's kind of what got me in where I am kind of now is, like, boys was never an issue for me. I was, you know, like, some people were like, oh, like, some girls go through a stage where they just want attention, or, like, they feel good when they talk to guys, or they want a boyfriend. It was never my thing. I guess my demon was more girls, in a sense of, like, I felt safer around girls because it's like, well, I don't like you like that, so, like, we can go out and we can have fun and we can do all these things, but it's not like there's no expectation. And I would be friends with a lot of worldly girls, and I don't even like calling them worldly in a sense, because it's like they're just really lost, and this is no derogatory way towards them. They were just lost, like everybody is. But being around girls that took part in a lot of hookup culture and stuff, like, I'd be in the background, you know, waiting for them to be done. And then
well,
I'm
it's like okay, the board game example you used. Like, you're watching the game and you're never playing, but you're in around it. Right.
And I had a friend that I was really, really close with, and we aren't close anymore. And this is a couple different examples, but, like, this friend I had would, like, cheat on a lot of the boys she'd be talking to. And it would always be a reason. It would be like, well, he was talking to another girl, or he wasn't giving me enough attention, or I saw him looking at inappropriate photos, which all that is wrong. But I am of the mindset where you should never cheat on somebody who you promised yourself to. Even if they are doing really bad things, break up with them. There is never a reason to cheat ever. If you don't like what they're doing, you leave them. And it took me a long time to learn that, because I didn't realize how much of myself was being lost, because my friend would be like, oh, like, yeah, I saw him looking at OnlyFans girls, so yeah, I talked to this guy the other night. And in my head, I was like, oh, well, he was looking at OnlyFans girls, he deserves it. And then I found myself in a weird way letting more things go than I would ever, that I don't believe should be letting go, but I just found myself like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Just like letting things
Well, you cared about her as a person, you liked her, so it's like you wanted to excuse everything. And also, like, was it too maybe like the fear of like, if you really deeply thought about it, you would have to leave her, and you were too afraid of the idea of like leaving that friendship in the moment?
Well, yeah, yes, but I was meaning more towards like, in my personal life, I would let other things go, and I wouldn't see things as black and white, like what's wrong and what's right.
You
will. I was just letting other.
Yeah, you will let things slide. You will let things go when like
you're around people that don't align with what you align with.
Yes, for sure. But you have to like also. It runs so deeply inside you, where it's like when you have a motive, when you have an agenda, even if it's, you can have on a simple kind, whatever agenda, but if there's an agenda, a want, like you wanted to go out, you wanted to have fun, that was like your agenda in your relationships. That's why you only wanted girlfriends, because you wanted to just go out and have a good time. So when we want things that aren't meant for us, terrible things happen. We become somebody we don't even recognize because we have let so many things slide. It's like at work, you want to like move up. And I'm very guilty of this, where it was like I would find myself in the social media industry, even just like doing things, shoots that I wasn't comfortable with, where it didn't represent any of the morals that I stood strong to, using God's name. Like I would literally film those and promote them. And like, because why? Because I wanted to eventually become, I wanted to get higher and higher and higher. And then, before I knew it, I was like, I really don't even like myself.
Yeah.
Did it ever get to that point with you where you were like, I don't like myself?
No, I was, this person that I was talking about did something to a friend of mine, and they had done other things in the past with people that were close to me that I felt like she disrespected them. But again, like I was just of the mindset where it's like, she's just lost. She doesn't mean it, or like, I'll change her.
And those lost people will seek people out who have like a light.
And I remember it was just my final straw, the situation where they disrespected a friend of mine, and I lost it. I was like, you can't do this to people. Like, just because you have had a hard past doesn't mean that you can just be mean to people. Like, it's like abuse people. It doesn't make it right to abuse people. Like, I really don't. I get the mindset of why they think it's okay, but it's just not.
Yeah.
Whether you need to distance yourself from people, whether you just need to not have any friends at some point, you need to just hurt people. And I no longer friends with that person, and I saw myself like grow so much in like such a weird way. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I am like mightier than thou, because I'm definitely not. I still go out sometimes, but it's entirely different. Like, I can't even express how different it is now.
You're very different, yes.
Than what it used to be, because it's like, I kind of just lost my train of thought, but it's very different. Like, I don't put up with things I used to put up with in my relationships with even friends, family, people you just meet or whatever. Like, I guess I'm more black and white now, which I guess can also sometimes not be good, but it's the only thing that's keeping me and my morals safe. And if that's what I have to do to keep my morals safe, fine. I am black and white.
Well, what to you now, like, since you know this, you've experienced this, like, when you meet people, like, what is something where you're like, do you have it in your head laid out, like, okay, if you do this, like, what is for people, like, who are listening out there who can kind of relate to your story with having bad friendships, like,
like changing and stuff.
How do they know what kind of boundaries to set? How did you set them?
This is kind of difficult because this is all so new to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's more just like that friendship I had, like that was really hard to break up friends with that person because I loved her as a friend. I loved hanging out with her, but I couldn't get by with what she was doing to people. Yeah. I think it's more of if you don't like, you are who your friends are going to be. Mm-hmm. And I was turning into that in a sense. I wasn't doing the same things as her, but I was telling her it was okay. And that what she was doing. And then that made me feel like I was losing myself. I was an enabler, which is honestly even worse.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, I think it's just, you really just have to pick yourself, and if that means not having any more friends at some point, it's worth it.
Guys, it's so worth it. Like, I don't know
it's not as
how
scary
to
as you think it's going to be.
It's not. I'm telling you, and that is the only way you will ever truly heal, because you are never going to heal from a relationship. No matter what it shows in the movies, no matter what it shows on social media, you're never going to heal from that. You heal by sitting alone with God. Mm-hmm. Like, and I even brought this book here because I really wanted to show this book to you guys when I went through a really, really hard time. I think it was 6 months ago or around that time. I just felt very alone because I was at that point where I kicked everyone out of my life and I was forced to sit alone with my thoughts, and I fully surrendered myself to God in that moment in my life. Mm-hmm. Guys, it was miraculous. Like, people talk a lot about feeling God's love and just miraculous moments on their journeys with God, and like that was the most, like,
that's nice.
The most. And so I felt it, and I didn't want to go to church that day because I couldn't even walk outside without crying. Like, it was really bad. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. So I'm a little dramatic as it is. But no, I was down bad, very bad. And this is actually, I watched a Girls Gone Bible episode. And huge shout out to them because I really like listening to them and seeing like two girls who were of the world, become who they were. Like, I can really relate to like how we were. Like, we would party, we'd go out, we'd do things, and like there was still guilt.
One foot in, yeah, and it's like out. Weird because it's like you didn't technically do anything, so why do you have such?
So I feel like it's almost worse because it's like we did have good morals, we really did. I mean, yes, I've done things that I am not proud of, but for that time, even when I was really, really bad, there were a few things that I promised myself I would never do, and I did not do them, and that's why I thought I was okay, and that's where the devil tricks you. He doesn't come at the thing that you guard most. He does it, yes, he comes at the thing you guard most, but he's very tricky about it. He finds where you're sad. You were sad about not going out, not having fun, isolation, all of these things. So what did he do? He started showing you parties. He started showing you, like, we were dressing different, we were acting different, we were moving different, everything about us, but we were moving like people who, like, honestly had no morals. And it was really unfortunate for us because we still had morals and we were treated
it's like worse because you're like a tease.
Yes, and that's a whole other thing I want to get into too. But went to church feeling really bad, and one of my friends at church, he actually brought me this book. It was so weird. He was like carrying it outside of church. And I'm not like this, but I grabbed it out of his hands. I'm like, what is this? What are you reading? Like,
it's so tiny. So it's like funny seeing a man.
He had a pile of books, and I saw this stacked under it. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, you can borrow it if you want. And I was like, yeah. And normally I don't read. Normally I'm like, but I literally was like, yes, please. Thank you. And I took it.
She hasn't given it back to him.
I haven't given it back to him. I won't. I'm sorry, I won't, or I'll just buy a new one and give it to him. But this book, it's The Imitation of Christ. It changed my life. And just finding how bottom line, like when you want things that are of this world, you are already a perfect target for the devil. And I know it's impossible. It's impossible not to want things. But when you constantly ground yourself and remind yourself, so in that time alone, that's what I did. And that's what you have to do. Like wanting a job, wanting a friendship, wanting to travel, like anything that distracts you from God, like it's You know,
it's
like,
funny you say that because I'm still like in this running mode where like I'm not running to parties, but instead I'm running to like I want to move now.
yeah,
or,
you like want to have adventure.
Every week I'm like I'm gonna move right like next month, and it's like a new place every month. I'm like always like trying to go outside to the beach.
It's gotten a lot better though.
It's gotten better.
But you're right.
Yeah,
You still
it's like always
to,
like run.
You're not.
But I think
still.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's gotten really far along in reading the Bible. I'm working on it.
But this is like why I feel like it's a very relatable thing, because we don't want to preach to people who, I mean, if we could, that's great, but I don't expect to change people's lives who are very like strong in the Bible, strong in the faith. Like, you guys know what you're doing, it's working for you. Like, this is more for people who feel lost, who feel like they can't be still, who have this constant guilt that they can't even explain, who have panic attacks, don't know why you're having panic attacks, this constant nagging at your peace that you never find. Like, it's because you don't have God. You've never experienced God. And the thing is, God wants to come into you. If you are a living being on this earth, he wants to come into you. But we have to let him come into us. For a little while, like you are going to go through moments in your journey with God where you don't feel him. And like, you know, but I really think of it as a lot of relationships that I've been in. It's like, oh, you liked me when I was happy. You liked me when I was having fun with you. But then when I'm sad, you don't want to be there. Like, or you want me to be happy Maddie right away.
Oh, I
like,
hate that.
You hate that.
I hate that.
But that's what I feel like we do to God when we run away from him, when we're not feeling him as much. And that's,
yeah, like you get like impatient. You're like, well, you're not talking to me.
and then you blame him. And the funny thing is, we blame him. We blame him for anxiety. We blame him for a death. We blame him for everything, when in reality, every anxious, terrible thought, that is the devil. Why aren't we blaming the devil first?
Oh, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know, like, I was having some weird little anxiety attack one time. I was having an anxiety attack, and I called my mom because I was like, because the thing is I don't really get anxiety very often. I'm pretty even keeled.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really.
You have it in different
things.
ways, though. It's like,
Yeah, well, we'll get into that later.
it's the running, yeah.
But like it's hard for me because I don't really feel sadness very often. I don't feel anxiety very often, but when I do feel it, since it's unfamiliar to me, it feels like it's completely taking over me, because it's like it's not like something I usually feel. So when it happens, I'm like, what is this feeling? Why is my chest pounding so bad and whatever. And I called my mom, and she was just like, well, first off, you're having an anxiety attack.
She's like, that's
Second
what it
off,
is.
like, it's literally the devil. Like,
Yes.
and I don't know what it was, but something about those words just like completely calmed me, because I was like, whoa. Like, this really isn't that deep. Like, what? And I don't know. And it is the devil, because you have control over the way you feel and what matters and what doesn't matter. And even you have control. It's all in your mind. So, like, something about saying that, I was
Yes.
like, whoa. I guess it's not
instantly.
that deep.
Like, just the other day, it's the same thing. Like, even if you're very, like, you're doing your life right, that is also when the devil, you're always going to be attacked by the devil. Like, always. It's just, like, in that moment, guys, whenever you're feeling like you're about to have a panic attack, even if you're not like a super strong believer, just try it. Just literally say, God, I need you to help me. Like, if you don't believe in him, you can even, like, I know a lot of, and I kind of get up when people are like, if you exist, blah, 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 like, do this. I think that's a little, but that is when he comes into you. For people who have had a different life, like, you have to invite him in. And I always say, like, we say we want to hear God. We want to hear what he wants for us. And this is like when you get to a point where you're further along, like, you know, you'll say that, but it's like, why am I not still then? Why do I keep, because you run to things and I run to work. Like, we all are running. And I think that's a really good question to ask yourself. Like, I mean, I feel like there really aren't a lot of people, even if they're very strong in their faith, like, we all have the temptation to run. We all use something to run. And like, no matter where you're at, that's something I think we all have in common. And we all have that one thing, and like, it will change throughout your life. Like, for me, it was attention, you know, and validation from men. But at least I see that.
Yeah.
I see that, and like,
No, it's the truth.
I laugh about it, but guys, it was bad. Like, it was like, yeah. Anyway, and I hated, and talk about not liking yourself. Like, I hated who I was, and like, it's not even just about men. If you're running for validation from a boss, from a person, a friend, like, you're not going to like yourself because you're not being you.
You shouldn't need to be getting a validation from people, because if that's the case, you're never going to get it.
Never. But find what it is that you're running from, and that's like the closest step to healing yourself. And then, you know, I always say, God, like, show me what you want. Like, but then I find myself like, okay, I say that, but I'm not even going to go for a walk in silence. Like, I'm listening to a podcast about something, even if it is a Girls Gone Bible podcast. I think, oh, I'm fine. I'm listening to like a Jesus podcast. Like, I'm good. Which, if you have to like do something, do that. But something they are very heavy
I relate
on.
to that so much.
You were the constant noise.
Listening to constant noise, like, it's so bad. I don't even brush my teeth without listening to like music.
And it's a gradual thing though. Like, I don't expect you, and this is something huge. Like, I felt when I wanted to like get close again with God, I felt very overwhelmed, because it's like, I can't be silent right now. Like, so and if you're the type of person that's very like type A, you like a perfectionist, you want to like be at that level already. And everything it's cringy, but there is truth, and like, you learn everything in your journey, not at the end. God is soft, and like, we do have to prepare ourselves to hear his voice, because God is intelligence. God is all of these things. And if we don't have it in ourselves, it is very hard to hear. Like, I didn't have it. I literally felt like I lost everything. And I was on the ground, like, could not move. Like, I paralyzed. My heart was beating out of my chest. And like, it was in that moment where I'm very open about this story, because like, I was lucky, because sometimes you have to like do the work to find God before you get a miracle, but he came into me in that moment. Like, I felt like his arms were completely around me, and it made me just
but it led to you choosing him,
and then I choose peace. And you know, I mess up a lot still, and I have my issues, a lot of issues, but like, I choose peaceful people now. I choose peaceful things. I choose comfort. And like, that's everything that represents God. So if you find yourself in a position where it's like, you hate hearing truth, you hate people who play devil's advocate, like, you know what I'm saying? That is the devil. Like, that is you not liking soft-spoken people, like the devil.
Just like even being around like people that are too peaceful or too like zen.
There was a point too with Christian music. I was I was like, that's so weird.
This song sucks.
That's people jamming out. I was like, that is the weirdest thing. But
like, put on Lana Del Rey.
It was the devil. Yeah. And now it's like, it's a beautiful thing.
Because you'll look at those people, like the Schnacky
they're so
family.
Happy.
They are so
they
happy.
Have such a light. Yes.
Such a light.
Yes.
And then they like always sing their worship songs, and I didn't understand it at first. But I mean, actions speak louder.
Words,
look at them. Yes. Look how happy and glowy they are, and all the cool opportunities they have and stuff. So it's like, there's something to be said.
Because they're following God, and like that. You guys wondered when your life is going to unfold. It unfolds when you follow God.
Yeah.
So
I'll tune back in when I'm there. No,
no, you're there. It's just,
I'm just kidding.
You know, we are definitely still working on things for sure. Yeah. But we want it. We are determined, though. Like, we know there is no way to have peace without God. So
it's like funny. It's like having the recipe to bake the cake, but then just
you
like
didn't put it
not going to the store to grab the product.
Exactly. Or like, we have it all there in the bowl, but we're not putting it in the oven. All we have to do is put it in the oven and bake.
Mixed it up. It's like all you have to do is cook it.
Anyways, guys, thank you.
We're baking now.
We're baking now. Yes,
cooking.
We're all gonna bake it together. Let's do it. We'll give you guys the ingredient. Well, I don't know if we know all the ingredients. We have an idea though, because
it's God. God is the goddess.
Yeah. Although
the ingredients are the way.
We have been like, I know I say like, oh, you know, I always held it together in some kind of way, blah, blah, blah. Like, I say that, but I was down pretty bad. I was a totally different person 7 months ago, 8 months ago, year ago, like, completely different. And like, it's when you hear somebody come, like somebody who, you know, came out of that, like, you were on the other side and you still chose God. Like, guys, use that, because, and not even if you want to even listen to us, but like, listen to other people then, because we are not and my issue with a lot of Christians, and I think what a lot of people have the issue with, and it is also an attack from the devil, but you tell yourself they're so isolated. They don't know. They've never been out in the real world. It's easy for them to say that when they just isolate themselves in their church. I said all these things not knowing it was an attack from the devil to just not listen. And yes, there is a level of like, when you don't experience the world, you don't know the temptation. Easy for you to say, but
it's also harder to not experiencing it, because then you're sitting there and you're like,
But I will say, like, I have experienced the world far more than I would have liked to, and I came back broken, and turning to God completely healed me. So
yeah,
we just kind of want to catch up with you guys weekly and just talk about different things. We're very real here, so
I guess the last thing I want to say when we concluded is just find your demon.
Yes.
Whether my demon was through my girl friendships, because I thought, I mean, there's no power over it because they're not boys.
And
so
you saw me,
and I felt so bad for them. I wanted to heal them, whatever it is. So find your demon, and it's gonna be hard, but
it's worth it.
Kick it out of here.
It's gonna be hard, but like, especially if you don't have a community. But that's why we're gonna make podcasts like this, and that's why, like, even like there's a few other podcasts like this out there. Like, find somebody who, like, and we are in this together. So
yeah.
Stay tuned for next week, guys. We're gonna have a really good episode.
Yes.
Don't know what it's gonna be yet. We're just gonna
we'll
see how our week goes.
see what happens next week.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.